me get this straight. The Karmelo Anthony footage has finally been released, and it allegedly shows no physical confrontation, contradicts the self-defense claim, and somehow Karmelo is still being defended like he's the victim. Meanwhile, certain voices online are doubling down and blaming white people, masculinity, even history, instead of the person who brought a knife to a school track meet. Don't make sense to me. Let's unpack this, because the moment the footage surfaced, that's when everything changed.
White people have always felt that they had jurisdiction over the black body. It goes back to the plantation days, Art. The problem with this case is the stand your ground law was meant for white people to be used against black people. The stand your ground law was meant for white people to be used against black people. It was never intended for black people to use the stand your ground law to defend themselves against white people. And guess what, Art? White people don't care whether or not Karmelo is justified or not. They don't care. Even if it is proven that Karmelo acted in self-defense, and it will be, they don't care. The problem with white folks is in this country, black people do not have a right to defend themselves from Caucasians. This is a 400-year-old practice. This is a 400-year-old norm. This is a 400-year-old culture. This is a 400-year-old custom, Art. So he not in court fighting against the law. The law is on Karmelo's side. The problem is, the basic problem of this case in Frisco, Texas, Art, is a black boy valued his own life enough. A black boy valued his own life enough to take the life of a Caucasian in order to defend it. And in American history, you rarely come across black men, let alone a child, who valued his life enough and had courage enough to defend himself against two racists who were trying to harm him.
This is why I could not be a debater. I'm telling y'all, if anybody call Kingdom Reacts out for a debate, hey man, I can't do it. I'm just not admittedly emotionally equipped, because I'll be sitting there the whole time, just ready to speak. Because this is how this whole thing kicks off, not with facts of the case, but with a full-blown rewrite of legal history. I even just looked it up, man. He says the stand your ground law was created for white people to use against black people. So let's clear this up, some research real quick. The stand your ground law doesn't mention race. It's about perceived threat and immediate danger. Okay, period. It's been used and upheld by people of all races, including black defendants. And here's the twist. According to a 2013 Urban Institute study, black defendants are more likely to be found justified in stand your ground cases when the person they defend against is white. So when he says the law wasn't meant for us, what he really means is he doesn't like how it's being applied now. That's what he really means. Umar, he's not reacting to the case. He's dragging us through 400 years of pain and trying to wear it like it's an armor shield. This isn't slavery. This isn't the plantation. This isn't the tragedies of our past. This is a teenager who brought a knife to a school event and used it. That's it. I've been fumbling my words all day, dealing with this nonsense. Now, the moment you ignore that, I've been speaking extensively here. I usually transition a lot quicker. My fault, y'all. Like you can tell I'm a little passionate, but the moment you ignore that, you're not defending black people. You're defending the law, because justice doesn't start with emotion. It starts with evidence. And just when you think it couldn't get more biased, watch how far the blame game goes next.
White people, I'm sorry to say, this is y'all fault that this whole Karmelo Anthony incident even happened in the first place. First of all, y'all need to give Karmelo Anthony an apology. Anybody that feel like he was wrong, y'all need to give that young man an apology, because all he was doing was defending himself, and now he had to go through the trauma of taking somebody's life to defend himself. Now he got to deal with all this backlash that he doesn't even deserve. Now, first of all, I know it's really hard to grasp this, right? But all black men, we don't all wear bonnets. We don't all wear dresses. We don't all wear purses. We don't all wear mercy. We don't all sell out our people just so we can make quick money. We're not all feminine. All black men are not docile, passive, that y'all like to put in the media and pacify these black men by giving them money in exchange for their masculinity. All black men are not willing to sell out their masculinity in order to get bread, in order to push agendas. All black men are not like that, okay? Y'all been teaching your young Euro children that y'all can just basically walk up to black people, and Euros can do whatever they want to black people without there being any consequence. And I'm pretty sure these children thought in their mind, well, we're bigger, we're white, we can do whatever we want to him, and there's not going to be consequences. And look what happened in the process. This young man had to lose his life and be made an example out of in order to put your ego in check. That's basically what happened. These young men had huge egos, they were known bullies, and they went up and tried to bully the wrong black child because they probably assumed that just because they had the upper hand, they were able to just treat and talk to this young black man like anything, and look what happened. So really, this is y'all fault. You know what happened here? Arrogance. Arrogance is what made this happen. Arrogance is why that young man lost his life. Karmelo Anthony, he was simply protecting himself. As simple as that.
This right here, man, is emotional manipulation wrapped in cultural pain. And I get it. People are tired of injustices. I mean, hell, we all are. But this isn't that. He says Karmelo was just defending himself. With what? A knife at a track meet, bro. On school grounds, not to mention. No mention of whether he was jumped, chased, or even touched. Just vibes and assumption. Then it spirals. Now it's about bonnets, masculinity, the media. What does any of that have to do with stabbing a kid? Please explain that to me. Let me ask. If the roles were reversed and a white kid brought a knife and stabbed a black student, would the same person still be preaching self-defense? You think he'll still be preaching that? Would the internet call for understanding? Would anyone be demanding an apology for the attacker? Yeah, we both know the answer to that. But when the footage comes out, that's where the house of cards collapses. AF posted the footage of Austin Metcalf's killing, which has not been released to the public, shows no physical confrontation between Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony before Anthony fatally stabbed him, according to the Texas bureau chief for the Daily Mail. If true, this contradicts Anthony's account that he was acting in self-defense and indicates that Anthony attacked Metcalf without physical provocation. Let's read a little more extensively, y'all. Y'all, I don't know. Let me see. Can y'all see that? Oh, okay, y'all can see it. Anthony has admitted to the stabbing, but maintains he acted in self-defense, claiming the truth will come out. Initially, Frisco police said an altercation between the teens led to the violent encounter. However, the footage reviewed by the Daily Mail at the Frisco Independent School District's headquarters shows no obvious physical confrontation between the two prior to the stabbing. The Daily Mail did not detect anything that indicated chaos was about to ensue. Oh. Let me finish before I get my thoughts. Strict guidelines were enforced for viewing the footage. Reporters were only permitted to take handwritten notes and were barred from capturing or republishing stills or clips. The district allowed the limited release because the students' identities are not easily discernible in the video. Captured by a high-angle camera positioned near the press box and typically used for football broadcasts, the footage shows the tent at the top left of the screen. Students are seen sitting idly beneath it, waiting for the competition to start. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, it becomes apparent that the moment has happened when an armed Anthony attacked Metcalf. The stabbing itself is not visible on camera, but the reaction is immediate. Students are fleeing from under the tent, while police later confirmed Anthony fled the scene. He cannot be clearly identified in the footage. Boom. I mean, that's it. The Daily Mail citing Texas authorities saying there was no confrontation. Let's put this bluntly. Y'all, I don't know what's going on. Something with the water I was drinking today in terms of my words today. I'm going to put this bluntly. If there's no physical threat, there's no self-defense case. I'll say it again. If there's no physical threat, there's no self-defense case. And the people who've seen the footage, including the legal team, they know this. That's why the story changed from he's defending himself to, well, we can't see the video anyway. But the moment you can't spare the narrative, you hide the process. And this brings us to the cleanup crew, the folks trying to hold the line, even when it's falling apart.
So some of my old videos about the Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf situation have been getting a lot of attention again, and I decided to go see why. And when I went to take a look at it, it's a bunch of people saying, video footage of what happened that day has been released. Do you still believe it's self-defense now? Why, yes. Yes, I do. Because here's the truth about the videotape that was released. There was a video that was released, but it was not released to the public, so we're not able to see it. It was released to a few media outlets, and Karmelo Anthony's legal team confirmed that they did watch the video. The reason that the video was not able to be released to the public is because there are children on the video, and there are laws that protect children and their identities that does not allow the school district to show the video to the general public. But if you actually took the time to read the articles and not just look at the headlines, you would see that in the articles, it says that Austin and Anthony are both not identifiable in the video that was shown to the media. Now, it is likely that the video will be used as evidence for the grand jury to determine whether or not they believe Karmelo Anthony is guilty of first-degree unaliving. But what it sounds like is that they're going to use the video as evidence to put pieces to the puzzle together, because there were people seen running from the incident and the EMTs responding. But the reality of it is, y'all don't care about the truth. Y'all just want to see that black boy go to jail. That's what it comes down to. And I'm going to keep saying this, but the moral of the story and a lesson that needs to be learned here is that y'all need to teach y'all kids to keep their hands to themselves and not try to bully people.
Respectfully, that's called grasping for straws. Now, I know I mentioned that he was reading, or looked like he was reading, and I guess I spoke a little too soon. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not opposed to that, even not myself, since y'all want to know a huge secret to why these videos have been getting progressively better. It's because I've been watching these videos, taking down notes, and making sure I get my certain talking points together. That way I don't just be sitting here rambling like I'm doing right now. But again, that's grasping for straws. Yes, the public hasn't seen the video, but the media outlets have. Lawyers have, and they're all confirming the same thing, which is no visible confrontation. And if the footage did prove self-defense, you think the defense team wouldn't be screaming from the top of the rooftop? You think that wouldn't be happening right now, my boy? Instead, they're whispering legal technicalities. That's what's going on. Because once the public finds out the truth, the support is droning. It's going to dry all the way up. But one person said it wrong and didn't sugarcoat it. Y'all may know him as Charleston White. Hey, we may not always agree, but when he's right.
You cannot bring a weapon to school.
Yeah.
So you can't say I was
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense, because if you are afraid the day before Well, you have to take a weapon to school. Why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher that's bringing these kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody fucking with you, you tell the teacher. Let the teacher know, so when y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So words of documentation to say this is self-defense. It's a premeditated crime because you took a weapon in fear. Anticipating to use it.
That was premeditated, though.
And it's at a track meet. You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got a knife on you. No, man, you got to go to jail. You got to go.
That's the part nobody want to say out loud because it's the truth.
You cannot bring.
If you were really afraid for your life, you wouldn't show up with a weapon. The proper protocol is to tell a teacher, a parent, a coach, an adult. You'd avoid the confrontation altogether. But if you walk into an event with a weapon already on you, that's intent. That's intent, my boy. That's not panic. That's planning. And look, once you make that move, you own it. And ain't no turning back. So now the footage confirms that there's no confrontation. And even legal commenters are calling it premeditated. Yeah, I said commenters. I meant to say commentators, but I'm going to just... My question, I guess, is why are some still defending it? That's what I want to ask. Why are we bending facts, playing emotional games, and blaming everyone but the person who actually did the crime and brought the weapon? Why? It don't make sense to me. Let's be honest. This isn't about race. This is about refusing to hold our own accountable right now. And if your version of justice only works, and if your version of justice only works when you're the victim, maybe it was never about justice at all. Y'all be safe. Please go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.